In this demonstration of Resolve Actions Express, we're going to be looking at a security-focused use case, one that's designed to both identify and contain an insider threat. Now, Resolve Actions Express certainly functions as something of a Swiss Army knife when it comes to IT process automation, so that means we can cover use cases ranging everywhere from the service desk to the NOC, and of course, to security. We can see here inside of our ITSM, which in today's demonstration is ServiceNow, a ticket was just created from our security monitoring application, telling us all about the potential insider threat from a malicious actor that was detected. Now, down in the work notes, we can see that Resolve Actions Express has already intercepted the ticket and is getting to work on gathering logs, diagnostic, and other metric information. Switching back to Resolve, we can open up our live dashboard where we can see certain high-level KPIs and metrics, as well as here in the Running Workflows tab, see a live snapshot of the system, and also reveal that this workflow is in fact running right now. We can open it up in the audit trail view for a more granular drill down view into everything the automation is doing, step by step, live and in real time. And as we can see, Resolve is using a huge host of pre-built integrations and activities to do things like gather processes that are running, services, active logged in users, CPU and memory utilization, things like currently installed antivirus software, and more. Switching back to our ticket, we can see that all of these reports as spreadsheets are being uploaded and are visible in the work notes. In just a moment, we'll get a high-level message that shows us everything that the diagnostics portion of this automation has done. And there we are. So the scan has completed, and we can see down here in the report section that each and every one of these spreadsheets has a link that'll take us directly to them for viewing. Above that, in System Overview, we get information like the host, OS build, CPU and memory utilization, total number of running processes, the installed antivirus like you heard me mention before, as well as the suspected malicious actor. The note also lets us know that we can initiate an automatic threat containment by just creating a change request from this incident ticket, which will perform the following. Well, it'll send a warning message to the suspected user. It'll terminate their remote session on the infected host. It will disable their Active Directory account. And lastly, disable the network adapter on the infected host itself. Now, if we take a quick look at some of these report spreadsheets that were uploaded, for example, the process list, I can see that all of the detailed information on every process running on this host is present, including the user that owns it, when the process was started, and of course, a description. I can take a look at some of the other reports, like, for example, some recent security event logs from the Windows event log. And, as expected, all of the detailed information from the Windows event logs, just like you would see within the UI inside of Microsoft Windows, is present right here inside of this spreadsheet. As instructed in the work note right here, we will create a change request from this incident in order to initiate the automatic cleanup or containment of this infected host and the malicious actor. So we can see that the change request was just created. And down here in the notes, we will see the moment that this ticket is intercepted by Resolve. And there it is. Going back to the live dashboard, we'll reveal the same thing we saw before, where the containment automation is seen running right here, and opening it up in the audit trail will give us that granular live play-by-play of everything the automation is doing. So we can see here in my RDP session to this box, I got a message letting me know that my session is being terminated due to suspicious activity, and the remote desktop service session has ended. So I'll close this. Maybe we can attempt to reconnect. And upon doing so, we can see that, just like we were told, the network adapter was disabled and the host was taken offline altogether. Now, back in the change request, we can see that all of the automatically fulfilled tasks have been done. And if we scroll down to those change tasks, well, we can refresh our list here, and we can see that one was automatically created and closed for each of the action items. I'll open these up separately. Firstly, we send a warning message that you saw a moment ago to the active login session belonging to the suspected malicious actor. It gives us the session ID as well as the user and the host here in the task. Next, it shows us how that same session was terminated. Next, we see that the specific Active Directory account was disabled. And lastly, we see that the network adapter on that host was also disabled, safely bringing that machine offline. Now, let's return to Resolve to take a look at how this use case was achieved. Remember, there are two workflows responsible for what we saw here today. One is the workflow that gathers diagnostics and information on the host itself. So, using our totally plug-and-play integration with ServiceNow, the same type of turnkey integration, by the way, that exists for things like all of the BMC offerings, meaning Remedy, RemedyForce, Helix RemedyForce, as well as platforms like Sharewell or Jira, makes it as easy as what we see here when it comes to doing things like manipulating records. It's as simple as selecting my target table or form, in this case an incident, and because I'm going to be updating my record, all I have to do is provide the incident number, which came directly from the ticket that triggered this whole automation to begin with, as well as select any number of fields that I'd like to update. And again, they are all presented in a totally point-and-click visual fashion. No coding or scripting required. So all along the way, we're going to be updating our incident ticket with information, but the information is gathered just like this. Things like granular, detailed information on the host. Well, gathering all the information that Windows can provide for us is as easy as pointing this server OS details activity at that infected host, which is stored here in this configuration item variable from the ticket, and then clicking Save. We can do the same thing for items like getting a list of installed software applications or getting a list of services. If we continue to scroll down, we see other activities like gathering percentage of CPU used or of memory. We're going to do the same thing for lists of, let's say, network adapters or active TCP connections, or retrieving Windows event logs from the security category. As you can see, we also have a bunch of other built-in filtering that can be used to really weed out only the type of logs you need. Now, once all of this information is gathered, our second workflow is responsible for automatically fulfilling the change request. So this is the containment piece. And in the containment piece, we are going to start by, of course, automatically creating change tasks for every one of the open action items. So we're going to do things like list out the actively logged in users, narrowing down to the suspected malicious actor that we had from the automatically created ticket, and then do things like display that warning pop-up message you saw, terminate the remote login session, disable the specific Active Directory account using our out-of-the-box Active Directory integration. Now this here is for on-prem Active Directory, but we have the same functionality for Azure AD as well. Now once all of that is complete, we are going to query the device to find out if it is a virtual machine hosted in vCenter, so VMware. We're going to do that by pulling the information from the server details activity, grabbing the manufacturer tag out of that detailed information, and here in our if-else branch, we can say, well, if the manufacturer contains the string VMware, then we know this is indeed a virtual machine. We can disable its network adapter by pointing this activity at vCenter and also supplying the host name of the VM. Now this right branch here is not active for this particular demonstration, But as you can see, we can also get a list of network adapters and disable them as needed for actual bare metal infrastructure as well. So that sums up our demonstration of Resolve Actions Express today. I hope you learned a lot about how the platform can really make all different types of automation simple and easy. Everything you saw in both of these workflows was built entirely by leveraging the drag and drop built-in integrations and activities from our toolbox like you see here. It's as simple as select the action, drag it on out to the canvas, and fill in some details. It's really more of design than it is development, and it offers rapid time to value and lets you get off the ground automating quickly. Thanks for watching.